I just wanted to share my experience with this in case anyone else is considering it. I've been using it on an in-ground pool, and the main reason I reached for a robot like this is simple. I got tired of spending my weekends pushing a manual vacuum around, fishing leaves out by hand, and still ending up with a dusty floor and a dirty line around the water. I wanted something I could drop in, walk away, and come back to a pool that actually looked cared for. This cleaner is for someone who wants regular, hands-off cleaning on an in-ground pool, especially if your pool gets a mix of leaf debris and fine grit. If your pool sits near trees, or you deal with pollen and dust that sinks and sticks, this type of machine can help. It is not magic, but it can take the routine work off your plate. What makes this one interesting to me is the way it handles different kinds of mess. Some days my pool just has a few leaves and bugs. Other days, after wind or yard work, it is a real mix of larger stuff and fine dirt. With this cleaner, I can swap how it collects debris depending on what I am dealing with. In real life, that matters more than any feature list, because it changes whether I have to run the cleaner twice or whether I can get it done in one cycle. In hand, it feels solid. It is not a light little gadget. It has that dense, practical feel of something built to be dragged out, set on the deck, lowered into water and used over and over. The handle is easy to grab when it is wet. The body panels do not feel flimsy, and the latches and doors feel like they can handle regular opening and closing without me babying it. The cable is long enough that I am not constantly thinking about reach, but it is still a cable, so I do pay attention to how I lay it out before a run. Setup was straightforward. I'm not doing anything complicated. I place the control unit near an outlet, connect the cable, and then I lower the cleaner into the water slowly and let it sink. I have learned that taking an extra moment to let the air escape helps it start more smoothly. After that, I turn it on and let it do its thing. Day to day, the routine is basically drop it in, let it run, pull it out, rinse the filter and put it away. That is the whole rhythm. The first run is always the one that tells you if a robot is going to be annoying or not. With this one, it starts moving pretty quickly and it does not just spin in circles. It climbs walls and works along the waterline, which is one of the areas I personally hate cleaning. That grime line is stubborn, and it is also the first thing people notice when they walk up to the pool. When the robot spends time up there, the pool looks better even if you do nothing else. Coverage has been good in my pool. It moves with purpose most of the time, and it usually finds its way into the areas that tend to collect debris. It navigates steps reasonably well, although steps are always tricky for any robot. Sometimes it will clean part of a step, back off, and come back later from a different angle. I have also seen it ignore an awkward corner during one pass and catch it on the next. It is not perfect, but it is consistent enough that I am not standing there supervising it. In real use, the filter choice is what I pay attention to. If I have a lot of leaves, I use the leaf bag. That keeps the bigger stuff from clogging up the fine filter, and it means I am not stopping mid-cycle to clean it out. When the pool looks clean but feels dusty, that is when the ultrafine filter actually earns its keep. After a run with the ultrafine filter, the floor feels noticeably cleaner underfoot, and the water looks clearer in a way that is hard to describe until you see it. It is not about making the pool look different from 10 feet away. It is about not seeing that faint haze or those little particles that usually settle back down after you think you are done. I tested it after a windy day where I had a layer of leaves plus that gritty dirt that ends up on the floor. With the leaf bag, it handled the big debris well, but some fine stuff still stayed behind. When I swapped to the ultra-fine filter on the next run, it picked up what the leaf bag did not. That is the honest reality. No single setup was perfect for every kind of mess, but having the option to change how it filters meant I could match the cleaner to the day I was having. There is also a weekly timer and I actually use it. I thought I would ignore it, but it is useful when life gets busy. I can set a routine, and then I am not staring at the pool thinking I should run the cleaner today. It is one less decision. I still check the filter and empty it as needed, because it is not like the debris disappears, but the scheduling makes it easier to stay consistent. One thing I want to be clear about is maintenance. You still have to clean the filters. If you run it in a dirty pool, you are going to rinse a dirty filter. The upside is that rinsing a filter is easier than vacuuming the whole pool. I just hose it out until the water runs clear, let it dry a bit, and put it back. If you let the debris sit too long, it is harder to clean, so I try to do it right after a cycle. Noise is not really an issue because it is in the water. The control unit is quiet enough that I do not think about it. The bigger practical issue is storage and handling when it is wet. When you pull it out, it is heavy with water for a moment. I usually let it drain at the edge before I carry it. That saves my back and it keeps the deck from getting soaked. There are a few limitations I have noticed. If your pool has a very unusual shape or tight little corners, the robot may not hit every spot evenly every time. I have had moments where I gave it a small reposition, not because it was broken, but because it kept choosing the same path. Also, the cable can develop some twist over time. I manage that by laying it out straight before a run and not wrapping it too tightly after. It is not hard, but it is part of owning a corded robot. Another real-world note is that waterline cleaning is helpful, but it is not the same as scrubbing by hand for a stain that has been building for months. If the waterline has heavy buildup, I still need to brush it occasionally. Then the robot keeps it from coming back as fast. I see it more as maintenance than restoration. Overall, my impression is that the Dolphin Premier Robotic Pool Cleaner is a practical tool that reduces how often I have to think about cleaning. It handles the everyday mess well. It deals with leaves better when I use the leaf bag, and it does a noticeably better job with fine dirt when I switch to the ultrafine filter. The timer is useful if you like routines, and the waterline work makes the pool look more cared for without extra effort from me. It does not remove the need to check filters, and it does not guarantee every corner every single cycle, but it saves me time, and it keeps my pool consistently cleaner than I was able to keep it with manual vacuuming. If you have questions about how it would handle your specific pool shape or the kind of debris you get, leave a comment and I will try to help based on what I have seen. If this video was useful, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with your experience using a robotic pool cleaner. Thank you for watching.